Well, hey everybody, it's Chuck. Welcome back to the channel. I got something I want to talk to you about today, and it's about mobile charging and the options you have out there for charging your Tesla vehicle, whether it be a Cybertruck, a Model Y, or even another EV if you are multifaceted and have different types of cars. Our friends at Jowua sent me this mobile charger, and it's got some features and capabilities to it that I wanted to highlight to you and maybe even let you see what you think about considering something like this as opposed to the Tesla charger. I've had this Tesla charger, and you know they don't come with the cars anymore, so you've got to buy your mobile charger. The very first Tesla I had used to come with one, but the Model Y and the Cybertruck Foundation did come with one, but they don't come with the non-Foundation series. But let's do a little bit of side-by-side comparison of this Jowua charger and this Tesla mobile charger and talk about some of the features. The first thing I want to say, and the reason you might want to consider this charger, is the charging speed is 25% more than the Tesla charger. The Tesla charger is capped out at 32 amps on a 1450 outlet, and any faster and higher amperage outlet, this charger cannot handle more than that. This Jowua charger is capable of 40 amps. That's 25% more than 32 amps, which is a little bit of a differentiator, especially if this is your primary charging mechanism. You know, if you charge with a 1450 outlet in your garage or the outside of your house or your condo or wherever you might be, and this is your daily driver, sometimes the amount of charging time is critical to doing it. And the difference between 40 and 32 might be something that you need to consider. It comes with two different adapter styles. It comes with a 1450 and also a 515 adapter. But I want to show you a difference between the Tesla 515 and the Jowua 515. You notice the inline versus the 90-degree plug. This is, I think, a better engineered design than this. There are some situations where you kind of got to bend this plug in. If you've got an outlet outside maybe, and you got to go inside of a housing with a weather protection cover, this doesn't work quite as well as this design. So I think that's +1 for Jowua here. I do want to say that they are the exact same plugs as Tesla. And I have used each plug on each other's device, and they truly are compatible. So if you bought the adapter kit maybe with your first Tesla, and you've got a whole bunch of these like I do, I think I've got a 1430, a 1450, and also the 515, they can also be used in the Jowua charger and vice versa. If you wanted to buy the Jowua, but you really like this style, you could use this on the Tesla one, perhaps if that was what you needed to use. So I think that's a pretty good comment and a differentiator there. So let's talk a little bit about the cable lengths. The Jowua is 5.5 meters stated in their guide, which is basically a little bit more than 18 feet. The Tesla charger is now 20 feet. That also could be a differentiator for you too, depending on the length that you need to stretch. Sometimes that extra 2 feet could be a differentiator for you, pulling all the way back. You can see I'm pulled back into my location of my driveway where my 1450 is, just in order to be able to test both of these devices out and see which one works best. The Jowua charger also has some capability with regards to scheduling, just like the Tesla does. So you might say, well, I own a Tesla, the car does the Tesla charging for me. You're right. This Tesla charger and the Teslas can schedule charging on a schedule based on your power company's needs or your own personal when you want your car to be charged needs. But other EVs don't necessarily have that capability. So if you're a multi-EV family and you've got two different types, you know, this Jowua charger having an app capability of scheduling inside of the charger might be a consideration you want to take in. I also want to say a little bit about the NEMA standards for these outlets. You know, you put a 50 amp outlet on your house, you really shouldn't be drawing any more than 40 amps, right? So it's a 20% buffer they give in there, and it's basically for wire heating and things like that in your home. So a 50 amp outlet on a 1450 should only go up to 40 amps max. So the Tesla is leaving a little bit on the table here with regards to their maximum charging capacity off of the 1450 outlet. Jowua lets you go up to 40, but out of the box, they don't go to 40. They go to 32, just like the Tesla charger, but via a software application, a web application, they'll let you bump it up to 32. The Tesla charger also, to differentiate, on the 515, so that's a 15 amp breaker in your house, a typical one you would have installed, will only allow you to charge to 12 amps for the safety buffer of 20% there, not going to 15. The Jowua charger will take you all the way to 15. So you might say, whoa, maybe you shouldn't do that. And the answer is you might not want to do that. And in the user's manual, it very specifically says, do not charge at 15 amps on a 15 amp breaker more than 3 hours. So there's a little bit of a caution in there, but technically they allow you to do it. You do have to go into the app and override it again. It defaults to 12, but you can override it to 15, just like with the 32 to 40. But it's a capability you might need. If you've ever charged at 15 amps, it is painfully slow, almost unusable unless it's your only option, and that's a long overnight scenario. So something to consider. It's there. You could use it in a bind to go to 15, but I would recommend, especially if you're not charging at your own home and you're not familiar with the wiring, leaving it at 12 and using 15 as an emergency type of option. But just so you know, that's a differentiator. You can set some of these things in the app. Okay, so let's talk about the app just a little bit now. Okay, stick with me. Okay, to connect the device to the Wi-Fi to get to the app settings, you essentially plug in the Jowua device. I'm using in the 1450 right now, and you see the logo come on the Jowua device. Essentially, it's powering up, it's booting up, and when you go onto your iPhone or your Android device, you essentially go to your Wi-Fi settings and you will see a Jowua, probably with its MAC ID. You essentially join the Wi-Fi access point, which is not connected to the internet, on the Jowua device. Many Internet of Things devices use this type of connectivity. It's a common way of doing it. But once you're connected to that device, you need to go open a browser, and I'm just gonna go to Safari, and I'm going to show you. You type in this IP address, 192.168.4.1. Now, I will admit that seems a little non-intuitive. It is in the instruction manual. You could write this on the back of your Jowua device if you needed it. But honestly, after you initially purchase this device, you might not even need to come back in here. But once the application, web application, we'll call it, is open while you're connected to the Jowua device, here you see the different settings that you can see on the device. You can see the voltage and the temperatures, and this device does have temperature throttling. So essentially, if the device gets too hot, it will lower the amperage for you. There's a lot of safety features in here. But the amperage is what I wanted to show you initially. It's set to 32 amps. If you tap that, I can come all the way down here and set it to 40 amps. And I'm done. This device that was sent to me is now capable of doing 40 amps. And I can adjust that in the vehicle if I want, or I could come back to this app if I change my mind and I did not want to use that setting. If you had a non-Tesla EV, this is also where you would come in here and use your start time, your charging period, you know, how many hours you wanted, and then what time you want to start it. They're kind of basic features, but this is basically the options you have in the application. Okay, so now you can see we're set to 40 amps. Let me set this down and we'll come over to the vehicle and we're just gonna plug it in. All right, essentially I press the button to plug it in and we're gonna head into the vehicle. All right, inside the vehicle, you can see the screen I've got selected here, and the charging is showing a full 40 amps as enabled on the device. And here in the Tesla, just like you've always been able to do, you can throttle it, and its max current charge, which is being broadcast by the Jowua device, is 40 amps. So you can see it's capable of doing more than the Tesla charger, which is kind of handy. All right, I want to show you just real quick how to use this 515 and some of the benefits of it. You can see these just swap out, just like the Tesla charger does. And I'm going to go ahead and put the 515 in here. And this straight inline plug adapter is what I was talking about how much easier it is to plug it in and go directly inside of a device that doesn't have room for a 90-degree adapter. I think that is a huge improvement in design, and Tesla ought to honestly take a tip from that. Okay, with the Jowua device plugged in and connected, powered up, and booted up, the Jowua access point is available. When you join that with the 15 amp plugged in, I figured I would show you this additionally. It defaults to 12 amps, and all you have to do is take the 12 and go to 15. So now you're using 100% of this 15 amp circuit breaker, and let me just go show you in the vehicle what it looks like. Okay, inside the vehicle, you can see we are charging at a full 15 amps off of a 15 amp breaker. You can control it and throttle it in the vehicle just like you normally might do, but it's still reporting that 15 amps is the maximum allowed. Obviously, the user's manual says you should not do this for more than 3 hours. I would even say that you need to do that even cautiously based on the age of the wiring in your house. But anyway, a nice little boost there from the Jowua Mobile Connector. All right, and one nice thing to remember, especially as a Cybertruck owner, this 1450 fits right here in your truck. And this is when the outlets are turned on. Don't forget, the reason to have a mobile connector might not only be to charge your vehicle, it might be to charge your other vehicle or another broken down vehicle on the road. Now granted, this will work both with the Tesla charger and the Jowua charger, but just if you're a Cybertruck owner, remember that 1450 outlet is available to be essentially a rescue vehicle or a mobile charger. Something to keep in mind. It's a great little feature. So what do you think about the Jowua connector? I'm pretty impressed with their ability of getting a full 40 amps and or 15 amps out of this charger. The cord is a little bit shorter than Tesla charger, but it's a little bit beefier also. So I think they've added a little extra cabling in here and are keeping the price point the same as the Tesla charger, right at $275 currently here in early 2025. There are a few other features that I noticed in the user's manual. This is OCPP, which is Open Charge Point Protocol capable, which does mean that the firmware in this device can be upgraded and improved over time. I do know that Tesla has the ability of upgrading their Gen 2 and Gen 3 wall-mounted chargers, but I don't think their mobile charger is firmware updatable. I may be wrong on that, but I know that this Jowua charger is upgradable. It comes with these adapters that I think are the basics of what you need, but it's also compatible with the entire Tesla charging kit if you needed more of these adapters based off your specific outlet in your home, whether or not it be a 30 amp or something else. So I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with it. I want to thank Jowua for letting me give it a try. I love having a charger in my Cybertruck, whether it be for me or for someone else that might need a little bit of a boost. It's a great thing to consider, and this is just another option on the market. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the Jowua charger. I'm a big fan of most of their products. I have several of them in both of my vehicles, and I think they're a reputable company to consider in your next purchase. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.